if you're paying attention to the news, you see, and I encourage everybody to go look this up. Go look up the ANA X Prize. That's the All Nippon Airways X Prize. So their X Prize is full telepresence. So that is where you strap yourself into a thing in one place. Your entire consciousness is projected to another place, and you have physical form in another place. And you may say, oh, that's nonsense, right? That will never happen. Well, I don't know if you've been following Boston Dynamics and their robots, but imagine just 12 months now that I can put my consciousness into one of those Boston Dynamics robots. And I can literally walk around a plant floor. I can show people how to do stuff. And I'm using an ultra low latency 5G network, right? With 10 millisecond response time across 2,000 miles. All of a sudden, I can literally sit in the conference room with you, and my little gestures will be repeated for people to observe. In fact, looking at that scenario, and the ANA X Prize, they are picking finalists like March, April. And it's just an example, Irene, of the speed of disruption and how quickly Industry 5.0 is coming to just blow it up.
So how do we live with all this? Because one thing to watch some exciting videos out there, you know, those dancing robots. I mean, they just swept us all away, right?
Yeah.
But everyone sitting at home and thinking, aha, if robot can dance like me or better, right?
Yep.
Robot can work like me or better. So what do we do as humans? I mean, you brought corporates, you brought corporations, you brought big companies, but at their individual level, right? Many people are really scared. Should they be?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say scared. You know, if you're taking the time to experience some emotion about the disruption occurring to your chosen field of profession, whatever it might be, then you're enlightened to the point that you're paying attention to it, which means that you can do something about it. It's those who are head in the sand that are going to find themselves displaced. But I told, since my organizations have been the head of the disruption snake and the technology snake in the organizations I've worked in over the last 15 years, and people talk to me about the human toll. And I tell them, listen, you know, get this disruption is a continual thing here, forever now, right? So you can either surf the wave or the wave can crash over you. But the wave of disruption is absolutely happening. And so I tell people, be really smart about what's being disrupted and the technology trends that are being used in your field of profession. So that you have an opportunity then to be in front of it and to be the most well-informed, to be chosen to be the one to implement, be, you know, a part of study teams and project teams and so on and so forth. Because it's the complexity and value of the work being done by machines today is, again, it's an exponential curve that's moving just so ridiculously fast. I was reading an article 2 months ago, and it was a retrospective on a farming family who farmed 100,000 acres with 6 people. And they set out to do this on purpose, right? So they designed this thing so that the equipment, you know, fueled itself, operated itself, ordered its own maintenance parts, and you know, they had everything that you could imagine in terms of automated fertilizing, automated watering, automated weed removal, I mean, literally trucks would come and trucks would leave, and there's nobody at the farm. The people running the farm are actually behind a keyboard in an operations center. And taking that as a radical disruption, if you look at the agrarian culture that we were just 100 years ago, and you now say 6 people are running a farm, well, it's going to be 0 people pretty quickly, because we'll close that loop, right? And that you can be in front of that wave and be part of, the disruption that's coming to agriculture. Or you can wait for it to sweep over you. But one way or the other, that wave is coming. And I just use that as an example because there's a second generation of automated farming going on, which is carbon neutral, waste free, fully
sustainable, right? Sustainable, yes, for the planet. Yep.
And it requires no people. You don't need people to run this farm. So the article was about this new initiative around technology and agriculture, and then we're taking a kind of a retrospective over the last major effort and what they learned about running 100,000 acres with 6 people. And so if you're in finance and accounting, what's happening with automation in finance and accounting? Where is technology disrupting? If you're in audit and control, as an example, oh my gosh, AI is outstanding at finding outliers, right? Well,
faster, better, cleaner, right? And just more efficient.
Well, and it's 100% sample size, Irene. And this is the thing that, I predicted in 2014. I said, and I was actually talking to one of the big 4 audit firms. And I told them, I said, I'm going to be ready to give you 100% of my samples and be confident in my results before you're ready to take my samples and analyze them. And that's exactly what happened. If you go look at any of the audit firms today, there's no sampling going on. They just say, give me your whole ledger, all 10 million entries for the year, right? Or for the quarter. And I'm just going to analyze every single one. And I'm going to tell you all the places that I discover some risk. And so these are just a few examples of how this changed to what work are we doing. So communication, collaboration, all of the components of human presence in the workplace are where creativity, these are places where we're going to be spending more of our time as humans. I think LinkedIn, the last 2 years, has published the top skills for software engineers. And the top 3 skills are all non-technical.
Soft skills, right?
All soft skills, right? So yes, you need to know your technology, but you need to have those soft skills. And this is just that's a lagging indicator, which really illustrates this notion that the softer side of this is now where humans are going to be focused. And so we'll begin, well, I think we already are, we're isolating that work and trying to apply our people power to those things exclusively and apply as much technology power as we can to everything else.